Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Welcome to Breeders' Cup Focus. We're about a month out from this year's Breeders' Cup. And in this edition of Breeders' Cup Focus, we're going to take a look at the main contenders for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. We'll look at the top 10 as ranked by DRF's Mike Welsh, with odds by DRF's Brad Free. And for the latest news and notes on Breeders' Cup 2020 from Daily Racing Form, head on over to drf.com/breeders-cup. Complexity is the 3-1 morning line favorite on Brad's line, Mike, but Complexity right now, it seems, is leaning towards the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile based on comments from Chad Brown.
I mean, we'll see where he runs. I understand why, Brad Free made him the 3-1 favorite, though, just based solely off his last race in the Kelso. Dan, that's a one-turn mile, and it just came back a super fast race.
The key to this division, the key to this race, is the number 7 Vekoma, who's 10-1 on Brad's preliminary morning line. We have not seen Vekoma in a very long time due to a bruised foot. When he's right, he's one of the better sprinters, if not the best one in the country. I think we saw that with his victory in the Carter and then his win in the one-turn Metropolitan Mile. But he's going to have to train up to this Breeders' Cup Sprint off of a long layoff.
Yeah, that's not ideal. And I don't disagree with you that he might be the most talented one, Dan. He's certainly, for the times they've been able to get him on the track so far as a 4-year-old, he's really taken a step forward this year. He's just run really well in all of his races. It's very unfortunate that he hasn't been able to race.
Let's watch 3 horses on this list from Southern California. CZ Rocket has made it 5 in a row. He's finally starting to live up to his potential. He's on the outside in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, the 4. Flagstaff, who's game and genuine, is down towards the inside in the green. On the rail is Collusion Illusion, who's had a pretty good year. CZ Rocket just wanted it more on this day. For most of the year, I thought that the Southern California-based sprinters paled in comparison to their East Coast counterparts. But Volatile is gone now, and this division seems wide open.
This division is extremely open, especially if you can't get Vekoma back to the races. And if Complexity decides for the mile, all I can say about the sprint at that point, Dan, would be just keep an open mind about this race because it feels like a lot of different horses can win. CZ Rocket, very hard to poke holes in right now. I don't think he's been particularly impressive in any one of those last 5 wins, but he just keeps showing up and getting the job done.
It is good to be Steve Asmussen, however, because he had Chancelot earlier this year training for a comeback. That didn't work out. He had Volatile run some big races. That didn't work out. He's got a new shooter. His name is Yaopan. He's very fast, and he just scored in the Chick Lang at Pimlico against 3-year-olds. Now, he's supposed to win this race, considering the field he was in against and the pace scenario, but Yaopan just keeps doing what he has to do, and he does it in pretty fast time.
I think that's the thing to like about him. He hasn't really faced a super strong field yet. Obviously, running against 3-year-olds in his 2 graded stakes tries. He wasn't facing strong fields, Dan, but he's winning the races very easily. He's doing it with buyer speed figures that suggest he could have some real talent, and he may not be facing a very strong field at all when it comes Breeders' Cup Day. So there's plenty to like about this horse.
Perhaps a horse that's coming up to the Breeders' Cup in fine form at just the right time is Diamond Oops, who ran really well very early in the year, got a break. He's now come back and has won graded stakes sprinting on turf and on dirt. I like this performance in the Phoenix at Keeneland, perhaps most importantly. We turn into the stretch. He's got some work to do turning into the lane, but I just have a feeling he was the best horse in this race.
Yeah, I think he might have just been the best horse, and you just have to love that there's no quit at all in this horse. He just refuses to stop coming after this horse on the lead, and he will eventually close him down. You know what? He'll do it pretty easily at the end, too. He's just a really cool horse, Dan. You can do anything you want with him. Any distance, any surface. He shows up. He runs his race. He's got some really fast ones on his card. There's a lot to like about this horse in this division.
Taking a look at the second half of this list, you'll note Firenze Fire, who is a mostly consistent horse. I wonder if he's lost a little bit of a step this year, but at least he got back on the beam last time out in a weak edition of the Vosburg.
Yeah, he did. He got a solid figure for that race. It wasn't, the strongest field in the world. It wasn't a vintage Vosburg, that's for sure, but he won that race easily. I don't know if he's quite as good as he was last year, but I'll tell you what, Dan, the two times, and I really feel like there's only been two so far this year where he's, had a real chance to perform up to his best. He was there both times.
And I guess you can never count out Whitmore, especially at Keeneland. He does have races, obviously. He has performed very well in Breeders' Cup sprints in years past. Maybe he's not coming up to this race in the kind of form that we've seen Whitmore come into Breeders' Cup in the past, but I think he's fresh, and I think we haven't seen his best. And if you give him an electric pace, he'll come running.
Yeah, that if he shows up on the day with one of his good performances, he could be a handful in a race like this. His last two races aren't great, but if he rebounds, he's a handful in this kind of a race.
How wide open is the Breeders' Cup Sprint a month out from the race? Our DRF favorite, as made by DRF handicapper Brad Free, is Complexity, who's expected to run in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. That's how wide open the sprint is.